So even in spite of there being nothing official coming out of Nintendo, there has been nothing but absolute rumors flying all around, you know what I mean, the internet over the last week. And I did want to talk about something else that came up in terms of Star Fox and the direction of this new game. So let's not waste any time and let's get right into it. On the VGC, or the Video Games Chronicle podcast, more was actually said about the rumored Star Fox game, as you can see here from Stealth, and you did a good job of, transcribing it. And what was said was, the thing that was said to me is that this game is actually really funny, which suggests perhaps that the writing is a focus. And to me, this is definitely the way that I think Nintendo should take it, put a little bit of a, say Marvel zing on the game, almost like the MCU movie. I think that's what, is the right way to go with this. I think you have a lot of young kids that probably really saw the Mario movie and love Star Fox now, or are very interested in the Star Fox games. I seen a video on Twitter, which, it's one kid, it's one video, but I saw a young kid playing, Star Fox after they got home from the Mario movie, apparently. And it was posted on, if I could find it, I'll, put a screenshot up on, screen. But yeah, to me, that kind of tells you all you need to know, that, these games, like that's what they should be. They should be not as serious, I think maybe for something like Metroid, of course, you want to lean more into the serious nature. That's what makes those games so good, Metroid Prime, and even the 2D Metroids. But yeah, I think for Star Fox, making it a bit like a Guardians of the Galaxy kind of game with, Star Fox, Falco, and the crew, I think is probably the best way to go. And yeah, there's always been a bit of campy kind of style or humor to the game. Do a barrel roll kind of became like a, like one of the earliest online memes, I remember being a child and, you'd see that all over YouTube, and all that. So I think, to me, this is the right direction to go with Star Fox. The other thing that I also didn't get the chance to talk about in my two previous videos was just the fact that we're also going to be getting a Star Fox adventure game, or quote-unquote a game that was referred to as the Adventure one by many people who leaked this, So to me, I think that's very exciting, and I think kind of shows that Nintendo is all in with Star Fox, and they're trying to, go big with this series and this IP. So I think that's very exciting, And I personally loved Star Fox Adventures on the GameCube when I was younger, so I think this is a very interesting route to take. And even if it is just a remake of that game, I think it'll be very interesting. But clearly, I think there is this renewed interest inside Nintendo and all of their, amongst all their top executives that really want the, this series to succeed, as clearly, putting Star Fox in the Mario movie, I think, was a big deal. And the other thing that I didn't cover, because I just only saw it this morning, but it was, said, I believe, on the release date of the Super Mario Galaxy movie, was that Glen Powell actually cold called Nintendo himself, according to reports, and he wanted to be Star Fox in a Star Fox movie, but I guess that's why they kind of just said, okay, we'll put it in the Super Mario Galaxy movie, as Glen Powell is a huge fan of Star Fox. So I think that's very interesting, and I think that kind of, I wouldn't say that Glen Powell, I wouldn't say he's the one that brought Star Fox back, but I think that's very interesting. And yeah, I'm very interested to kind of see where Nintendo goes from here with Star Fox, because like I said, I don't think he brought Star Fox back, but it's very ironic and interesting that they were planning, this Star Fox game that clearly has had to be in development for quite some time, if it's on the level that it's being described at, and then you also have this adventure game, apparently next year, Star Fox adventure game coming out, and then you also have the fact that, Childish Gambino or Donald Glover was very, was very in touch with different people and different cast members for the movie, and wanted to be Yoshi in the movie, So I don't know. I don't know what Nintendo's direction is at, but I think it's pretty hysterical that you have a lot of these like big time actors that are really kind of pushing them in the direction for, these characters that they loved and for these roles that they wanted to do. And honestly, I think it shows that Nintendo probably is, kind of all ears, They'll listen to some of these people just to kind of get a better glimpse into what the fans, or even some of the, these people who are obviously from older generations, past generations, what they want for these roles, It's not like a younger generation kid who might not be familiar with these games, So I'm very interested in kind of seeing what they do from here with all these characters. And I think it's interesting that, it took Donald Glover and Glen Powell, kind of getting in touch with Nintendo for them to put these characters in the, well, I'm sure Yoshi would have been in the movie, but maybe Glen Powell more so, getting in touch and, really pushing to be Fox in this new movie for them to really do it. And the thing is, I've seen people, push around the idea that maybe Glen Powell will voice, Fox McCloud in this new game. I don't think so. I think it'll be a, just regular voice actor, somebody that they could keep, you know what I mean, utilizing and, you know, using over the course of the next however many years, you know what I mean. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Glen Powell will be doing, you know what I mean, video game voice acting on the side, you know what I mean, along with his Hollywood films that he's doing, live action films, his action, you know, all the action movies he does. I don't know. I mean, if I had any, you know, dream kind of castings, I would say give me Sebastian Stan and Damson Idris, along with, you know what I mean, Glen Powell in a Star Fox movie, or maybe if you could have them in a game or something, I don't know. But I think if you did have those two along with Glen Powell, I think that would be very dope. I'd really be into, you know, seeing them on screen alongside them. Maybe even like a Michael B. Jordan. I doubt that he would, you know what I mean, Nintendo want to dish out the money for him. He's big time now. You know, thankfully he won the Best Actor award this year. But yeah, I think, you know, there's a lot of possibilities for what they could do with Star Fox, especially in a movie. And I hope that, you know, these next two games, assuming we get that adventure one on top of the one that we're supposed to be getting this summer, I hope that they do succeed so you can get a, you know, full-on Star Fox movie, whether it is with Illumination or somebody else, because I think that'd be really dope, and I think would only, you know, be something I want to see as someone who grew up with the Star Fox games. So yeah, guys, this was definitely more of a quick, short little video, and I did just want to put it out because I wanted to kind of just discuss and talk about more of these really fun Nintendo leaks that we've been getting, a lot of the rumors and stuff, and I just wanted to get all your thoughts on that. So if you did enjoy the video, then I definitely wanted you to give it a like, and also just let me know down in the comments section what you thought about these, you know, the leaks and the stuff that we went over, as well as anything else that we went over in any of my two previous videos. And yeah, if you're new to the channel or you're just returning and not subscribed, then definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button, because we got a lot of fun Nintendo content that I'm going to be putting out really soon. And yeah, with that, thank you guys for watching, and I am out. Peace.